Hello guys, Archangel here and welcome to my Unholy Deathknight PvP guide for Mr. Pandaria patch 5.3. Going to start straight off with the stat priority. This has changed in 5.3 because of changes to PvP power and resilience. First you want to be maxing your strength as much as possible. Then this is going to be contested actually. I vouch for hit cap and expertise cap over my PvP power and PvP resilience at the moment. They're not hard to get, you should get them with the gear anyway, but that's important you get them capped. Then PvP power, then PvP resilience. Now these are under, well, PvP resilience is always under strength, but PvP power was your top stat before, but now the changes to resilience and PvP power, it's not so important anymore, but it's still important compared to your secondary stats, so we're using them for gemming. And for your secondary stats, mastery, haste, and then crit, so nothing's changed there. As for your gems, there's a new gem in the game called Tyrannical Primal Diamond, which gives PvP power and PvP resilience, and a lot of it, but you can only obtain this when I believe it's 25 or 27,000 conquest points in the current season. So if you don't have that, then you want to be going Reverberating Primal Diamond, but Tyrannical Primal Diamond does give you a big lead in the competition, so that's much better than the Reverberating Primal Diamond at the moment. As for red, you go for Bold Primordial Ruby, which is pure strength. Blue, you go for Tense Imperial Amethyst, which is a purple gem. That gives both strength and PvP power. And yellow, you want to be going for a Resplendent Vermilion Onyx, which is an orange gem, which gives strength and PvP resilience. As for your enchants, there's not much to say about this. On the shoulder, you want Greater Tiger Fang Inscription. Cloak, you want Superior Critical Strike, or if you're not hit capped, get Accuracy. Chest, you either want Glorious Stats or Super Resilience, depending on the situation really. Super Resilience is 200 resilience, so it is a lot of resilience, but Glorious Stats will give you 80 strength and 80 stamina, which is quite good for you. But Super Resilience probably is just better, but if you feel like you're not going to die, then just take Glorious Stats. Brace, you want Exceptional Strength. Gloves, you want Super Strength. Legs, you want Anger Hide Leg Armor. Boots, you want Pandarian Step. And weapon, you want Rune of the Fallen Crusader. As for your first tier of talents, you want to be going Roiling Blood. This completely replaces your Pestilence, because now you can use Blood Boil to trigger Pestilence. This is much better than the other two, although for single target, Plague Leech is technically better. But don't use Unholy Blight, Roiling Blood is the better talent out of these. For your second tier of talents, now you can mix this up a little bit. Lichborn is very nice because of the heal it gives, and because you're immune to fears, charms, and sleep effects. But Anti-Magic Zone is also quite useful, as it gives you a lot of anti-magic anti-damage, good against double caster comps in say 2s. Purgatory is also decent if you're playing with a healer, but I wouldn't use it really. It's good for tanks, however, in RBGs, even though you don't see them anymore. And as for the third tier talents, you want to be going with Asphyxiate because it's only a 30-second cooldown. It's a 5-second stun, so it's great. You can use it most of the time, and it replaces Strangulate, remember. Death's Advance can also be used, and Chillblade is really for Frost, but Death's Advance can also be used for greater maneuverability. As for fourth tier talents, Death Pact is still used quite a lot when enemies have got a high amount of burst, but Conversion otherwise will be used because it's so much healing at so little cost now. It's a very good talent to take. Death Siphon you don't want to be taking at all, but Conversion is a very nice talent. The reason why you don't take Death Siphon is it uses up a Death rune, which is the most important rune of course. As for your fifth tier talents, you want to be going with Blood Tap. The other two are close to Blood Tap at the moment. Blood Tap's just higher on the DPS meters, but only just. The other two, you'll get away with using them. As for last tier talents, Gorfian's Grasp soon changed this patch. It now only takes 4 player targets, so the usual RBG raping combo with the Gorfian's Grasp and Solar Beam is not used much anymore. Gorfian's Grasp can still be used to drag people, say healers, into rings of frost and things for good CC. Morse's Winter is now used a lot more because it's a nice stun, it gets everyone, it's good for defending, say, flag points and such. Desecrated Ground's also used a lot because you can't be CC'd, which is very nice for you. Plenty of choice for you and your talents here. I take Glyph of Pestilence. Now, don't be fooled by this, by thinking, oh, Blood Boil, it's Blood Boil now, so this glyph won't work. This glyph does work because Blood Boil isn't changed into Pestilence, it just triggers Pestilence, so it'll still be increased by 5 yards. I take Glyph of Anti-Magic Shell just for the extra defensive possibilities for my Deathknight, and I take Glyph of Dark Simulacrum because it's very nice to steal from some funny abilities, but this one can be replaced with various other glyphs along. All of them really have some use for the Deathknight eventually, but none of them are really super useful, but they're all like kind of useful. As for your minor talents, there's no real ones you want to be taking. Glyph of Resilient Grip's alright. When your Death Grip ability fails because target is immune, its cooldown is reset, so that's good if you make a mistake. Path of Frost allows you to fall from a greater distance, you're not going to be falling at all, and just that for show. It's almost completely impossible to give you a rotation guide for PvP as Unholy Deathknight because it's going to change on your situation depending. But I'll give you a run over of some of the abilities here just so you get to know them. Death Coil is what you're going to be spending your runic power on always. Try to only spend it before it's going to cap instead of just using it when it's 32 RP. That's better, so you can save it up just in case you need Lichborn heal, etc. etc. Scourge Strike does deal more damage than Necrotic Strike, so in a single target fight against someone who's not going to be healing much or at all, you want to be using Scourge Strike instead of Necrotic Strike, especially on your death runes. But otherwise, Necrotic Strike, we'll just skip to this fast, is what you're going to be using, especially in, say, RBGs and arenas against teams with healers or high healing off hybrid classes. Because the Absorb has been buffed actually in this patch by another 25%, I believe, from I'm not sure, can't remember the buff really, but it's 25% off something of tap power, I think. But yeah, you want to be using that on your death runes instead of using, say, Scourge Strike. Even though it does a little less damage, the absorptions are worth it. Festering Strike's what you're going to be using sometimes on your Blood and Frost runes to get your death runes out. Now, Plague Strike it now puts up both diseases. You won't be using it much, if maybe at all. But if diseases do drop off and you don't have Outbreak, then you're using this to put them straight back on. Outbreak is your obvious disease top up with the opener, just puts them on free of charge, or global cooldown of course. Death and Decay, you want to be using this when there's more than one unit that's going to be staying in the Death and Decay, hopefully. Scourge Strike does technically do more damage to a single target now than Death and Decay, so you don't want to be using that on a single target anymore. But when there's, say, 2 or more targets that you reckon that's going to stay in range of Death and Decay, you want to be using that. Blood Bowl, this is used to spread your diseases. In AoE situations, you don't really want to be spamming this because Necrotic Strike's better for your group because of the pressure, but you want to be making sure all the enemies around you have your diseases on, so maybe you're going to be needing 1 or more Blood Boils to do that. Icy Touch now gives a nice dispel, dispels your targets, dispels one thingy off their target with the glyph I think now. Let me just check that, I ain't got the glyph on at the moment. Yeah, dispels one helpful magic effect from the target. I haven't got that on at the moment because I'm not using it too much, but it's a very good glyph to have still. Chains of Ice is your primary slow. It's a very, very powerful slow, and you can keep putting it on because there's only 1 frost rune, and you can use your death runes on it if need be. Soul Reaper also very powerful when your targets are under 35%. You've got to be bracing yourself for them to top themselves up with healers though in PvP, so you might not be using this too much, but when you've got a lot of Necrotic Strikes on, you want to whack one of these on, it should finish them off eventually. Mind Freeze, your basic interrupt. You've got your cooldowns like Unholy Frenzy and Summon Gargoyle, your trinkets. You've got Empower Rune weapon that you want to be using when you're wanting the runes and runic power the most, but you can use it to just burst down a target if you're low on runes but you know they're coming. Dark Transformation, you want to be using this every time it's up. It's very good for your ghoul, and of course summoning ghoul, you want to keep your ghoul up 100% of the time. Anti-Magic Shell, you want to be using this there's 2 situations to use it, aggressively or defensively. Defensively, obviously, to protect yourself from magic damage and allow your healers to top yourself up, or healers to top you up for you. Or you can use it if you think they're going to try and CC you, so you can keep chasing down a healer. Of course, it won't absorb all CC because some CC isn't magic, but say when you're against a mage and you're chasing down this priest, you're going to kill him, mage tries to polymorph you, use this just so you can kill the priest. Same situation on Icebound Fortitude, but more aggressively since it's only 20% damage taken, which isn't too much. So you want to be using this when you're stunned, really, to get yourself out of the stun when you need most. Horn of Winter, keep this topped up at all times. When you've got nothing else to use Horn of Winter, just for the runic power it gives you. Use your ghoul at all times. Death Grip, you get 2 Death Grips now, remember, but they're in a very short space of time, so you can use it to get people far away from their groups or out of sight. So that's a very good ability to use. And the rest of them are all talents I've taken. So go back now. One more thing just in case you didn't know, you play an Unholy Presence obviously so you can get those free death calls, but if you come under a lot of pressure, or especially in RBGs when you're going into their group with no one else to help you, you want to be playing Blood Presence because of the damage reduction it provides you. It's a big difference, a huge difference in fact. Thanks everyone for watching this guide. Feel free to tell me in the comments below what you thought about it, and if you liked it, subscribe for more guides coming up and more footage about World of Warcraft. I haven't been uploading lately because of exams, I've told this already, but in case no one watched the video that I actually told you, then I'm on exams and they will be finished within 3 weeks, and I'll be uploading a lot more regularly then. Thank you for staying subscribed, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you all soon.